Your main man coming back, baby. And Barbarian Horde today, I'm gonna be showing you some books that we picked up. And I've been a while since I made a video outside of the tribute video I just made a few moments ago. Uh, but in your time, several days ago, probably by the time I post this video, my son has run his first ever role playing game. We played a few like solo sessions, he and I, to kind of get him a bit of a hang of it under his belt. And he's been playing. I think you were 11 the first time you played a role playing game. Yeah, he's just barely off camera. You can see some of his shaggy hair. Don't look at them. They're gonna think something's wrong with you. No, he does stuff like that. But he's running his first ever game. He's running revised Vampire the Masquerade. Of course, we don't use V20. We certainly don't use that horrible hogwash garbage of the new Vampire 5th edition. And shame on you for making that. That's trash. I saw it and was highly and horribly ashamed, completely ashamed at 100% of the time. And shame on them for it. It's very, yeah, you're not going to run that. And that's had nor probably to very many people. Certainly very extraordinarily unpopular. Went from Vampire being the game that was number two to Dungeons and Dragons to being number 5,017 under just about everything imaginable. And but my son running revised Vampire the Masquerade first time we're running in 2012. The characters are all kind of neonates with a little bit of juice on them. Like by that I just mean like a little bit of years. Like my character, the game takes place in 2012, and my character's embraced in January 2nd, 1980. David's character, maybe 8 years before mine, and Steve's character, I think, a few years after. We have three players. I'm playing Volcavian. Steve is playing a Nosferatu, and David's playing Gangrel. So those are the clans in the city. And my son put in an enormous amount of work. I see him sitting here running like 8, 10 hours a day, just working on his game for it feels like months at this point. Really, I've probably the most work I've seen somebody put on this game the first time you run it. It's not good for a 17-year-old, and it's not good for somebody's first game. It's just a really, really well done game.
Thank you.
And the other players are really liking his game too. So he's running Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The game itself, we start off with um, a blood hunt, and it's the first blood hunt that's happened in the city in, I mean, decades.
Yeah, over 35 years.
Over 35 years, he says. So I got him. This is a wonderful thing, a wonderful kind of resource to pick up if you are running a vampire game. Just do this for your city. Go get the Ram McNally. Show them what we got here. I got this on Amazon. You can see my son there. Got this on Amazon, and this was like after tax, like $8 on Amazon. Quite nice. See my son getting huge now. 17, he benches 270 pounds. So he's a total gym bro and really gets me in the gym. I'm up there. We're up there 3 to 5 times a week, just working out, working out, working out, working out. My son, he loves working out and role playing games. That's about it. So I wanted to kind of go over some of the books we've gotten since the last time I put these together. Um, you can actually help me if you like. Hand me this one, top one. All right, so we're gonna start off. I play the current edition of Savage Worlds, but I have, we get older books in there too. I play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I play 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, of course, within the Real Fire, of course, Vampire, the revised edition, and the other games. I mean, I call all of it Vampire, really. They're just spin-offs of Vampire. But Vampires, I think, really the one I really like, and I really like Wraith as well, and some of the small book stuff I really like. Uh, well, this will be the first one. It just happened to be on top. Savage Worlds. Whoever wrote this was we looking at the characters was definitely woke. As we look at what the stats are, um, so we saw Nikola Tesla is on the cover, and it's actually his game is less smart than George Washington Carver, which is so. And we see similar trends throughout the game. So out this book, we can see all these type of characters. We actually have Lovecraft on here, and you know all the white people, of course, I think designed as racist. So yeah. And we can see, there's just a bunch of different characters, and the pictures in here are pretty good. This is one of the better parts of it. Um, but it is from the edition before this. Of course, they have H.P. Lovecraft in here as well, and there's Robert E. Howard, which I'm a big Conan fan, but I'm not a big fan of the woke stuff. So Yeah, it's definitely its fingerprints are all over there. And don't get me wrong, you can't approach topics like that and that sort of thing is perfectly fine, but it needs to be from a realistic standpoint, not from a nonsensical standpoint. Uh, Player's Handbook Second Edition. I like to get when I can pick up cheap copies. Oh, this one I don't know how much I paid. The Herald's book I found a really good deal on it, and I bought it a long time ago. So it's gonna be hard to find the listing on eBay, but I got a good deal on that Lovecraft Tesla book. This one. Um, AD&D second edition, and you can see the condition of it. Up at the local game store, World Best Comics, where we play. Every once in a while, they get new stuff in their used section, which they're very, very bad about buying or letting me know that they have bought these things. But you could let me know, and you immediately have just made money. But this was in there, and they charge you half of what the cover price is. And this is a cover price like circa what 80, 89, 89. I remember in seventh grade buying my first copy of this book. That copy's long gone, but I've owned many copies of this book over the years. And the game I ran before the Savage Worlds game I'm running now was AD&D Second Edition. So having extra copies of players' handbooks at a table is certainly a good thing to invest in. So this would have been $10 plus tax. So and it's in great condition. So that's obviously a no-brainer. My character's a Malkavian in my son's current game. So I have this Vampire Revised Malkavian's book. We didn't have I have all of the first edition clan books. I didn't have all of the second edition. No, I this is the role playing game book collection I have now is my second collection. I lost all my books like about just after my son was born, like everything, so down to nothing, and then had to rebuild the whole collection, which is very large. Like this is not all of my books behind me, and that shelf goes all the way down. We have a whole thing with all the White Wolf stuff that I have in it, and we have there's a very large collection. Obviously, if I had had my old collection in addition to what I've accumulated since, then it would be very large. And I have another bookshelf over here that has books on it. I have a very large role playing game collection. Not the most ridiculously expansive that you could see on like somebody's channel, but for as far as books goes, I'm probably like a step below a hoarder at this point. I have seen some of you out there that are on the full blown hoarding spectrum for role playing game books, and hey, I ain't hating on you for it, but that's just where I am. But uh, we didn't have two of the revised clan books, so I bought that. I have a few other vampire books that I picked up for my son in his presents, and he won't get those until his birthday, so I'm not going to mention and speculate on what those vampire books may or may not be. But we have Pathfinder Bestiary. I'm going to pick up Pathfinder Bestiary too. This is the Savage Worlds version. I don't care about the game Pathfinder at all. I hate the art in Pathfinder. I hate it. Like this is unbelievably non-immersive to me. It looks cornier than like a Jim Henson Muppet. Like, and I love Labyrinth, but it's a favorite movie. But I mean the one on the back actually looks okay. But that looks just ridiculous, man. Like it's not scary. It's like come on, dude. It's Sesame Street trying to whoop my ass. I'm really not that worried about it. If you get what I'm talking about, baby. So, but that being said, it is a pretty good book. It has a lot of useful like special abilities for monsters in Pathfinder, and just a large list of D&D monsters brought over. Um, which is an interesting kind of hustle there. Like, I mean, all Pathfinder did was basically plagiarize Dungeons and Dragons and made a whole game out of that. Right? It's not a real game. It's a bad setting inside Dungeons and Dragons, and porting that setting over to Savage Worlds gives them even larger fan base, even larger amount of books and properties to be able to be sold. Obviously, they're making something out of that with Paizo in terms of licensing. That's just extra money for them, right? So, I mean, I'm kind of a mixed opinion. I mean, hey, if you can make money doing it as a game designer, I get it. But to me, they like literally add nothing to the marketplace. Broken Earth. This is from the last edition. It's not the Suede edition, so I was one before that. This one was also very cheap. I like bargain hunting on eBay, although it's really hard these days. Books used to be so cheap. God, everything is absurdly expensive in the last, I don't know. God, it might even be almost 10 years at this point. I remember when a lot of these books were almost nothing. Like the 80 second edition books, there was a time where you couldn't even give them away. One of my buddies owns a game store, and he's like, I couldn't give these away. They were completely worthless. And now, the prices have really kicked up, whether that's from Stranger Things and other media outlet pushes and people getting older products. Who can say? But there's certainly a lot more disposable income in the gaming nerd market, I guess. Um, Also, I picked up another copy of the Vampire the Masquerade handbook. The one we have, the cover is completely fallen off. Well, completely fallen off. I also have one of the silver spine tasseled like luxury editions of this book. And we use that a little bit, but this gives us another book to bring to the table for my son's game. And we have the one that again the cover's fallen off. It's still working, but I anticipate by the end of his game it'll just have fallen apart. But I picked this up, and let's see, it would have been half off, so this is $29.95, so like $15, a little bit of tax, I guess. We got fifth edition Call of Cthulhu. This does not have a price on it anywhere. I got the same place. This is in the used section up at World's Best Comics in Newport News, Virginia. And they said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, what do you want to charge for it? It doesn't have a, a recommended sell price." So the girl behind the counter went, $5. I said, "Yeah, I'm taking it." So thanks for that, Jen. Appreciate it. And I already have a copy of this book. I think they have two different like covers. This is called the red version or crimson version or something. And I have the other one as well. In fact, I don't know, my Call of Cthulhu books are they're down here, so they're below. In fact, here, I'll just grab it. So yeah. Yeah, you should be able to see. This is the one I bought, and this is the original one, so that I had. You can see this has a like a colorization to it. This one is pretty is still in pretty good shape. This is the version of Call of Cthulhu that I like. I mean, they're all kind of the same, so, but having an extra version of the base book around is just a good idea in role playing games. And if you're going to run it, having one base book in a role playing game is an awful idea because can I see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? And now people they're preoccupied with trying to wait their turn to look for the book, and now the other guy's trying to rush, so he doesn't really get what he needed out of the book, and then it can kind of clog the game up. So it's well worth it to buy two copies yourself, and maybe have a friend that has a copy. It really helps with any role playing, whatever it is. Um, and you go to drive2rpg.com right now and pick up an extra copy of Within the Ring of Fire for your game table, baby. As well, you should. Picked up this copy of Forbidden Lore, AD&D Ravenloft. The box itself is in great shape. I I had all these Ravenloft books. I think before I lost my collection, I'd actually gotten rid of most of those because I ran Ravenloft for like 4.5 years. Um, this box set is incomplete. It just has this book, this book. There's one more book to go with it, plus there's tarot cards. So it doesn't have any of that, but it does also have this map with it. And you go, why would you even buy that? The reason being is there was a cover price for them because I guess it was losing stuff of $8, and they charged me half of that. So I paid $4 plus tax for this. I mean, why am I not going to buy it? All right. All right. So I picked up a big lot. This is not something I normally would have bought because they are Savage Worlds books, but they're from the previous edition. But it was like I think shipped to my house it was like $90. So it was these cards, adventure deck. Uh, oh well, maybe these are the same thing. I've never even opened these, but they have a retail price of $24.99 each one of them. Uh, Here actually, and it had This is all in the same lot, and this is again about a little over $90 shipped to my house. This, which I already have. This, which I already have two copies of. This, which I think I also have. Um, my Savage World books are over here. Yeah, I already have both of those. So this stuff was no real value, and I'm sure I could technically sell it somewhere, but it's kind of an aggravation to do that. It had this, which I don't know what the difference between the softbound and hardbound is, if anything. But still, if there is no difference, then I guess I have four copies of that book. This edition I don't even run, so kind of a waste of space, I guess. But if anyone wants to pay an extremely high amount of money for four copies of Savage World Deluxe, hit me up. We have this Traveler's Tale for Solomon Kane, which is good. I'm a big Robert E. Howard fan, as I think I mentioned earlier in the video. Love Solomon Kane. We have a giant omnibus Solomon Kane comic book that I got for $1 when I was out with my son buying comic books when he was a kid. Like, I don't know, he's like maybe 6 at the time, 7, something like that. We found it at the flea market. It's worth like almost $200. I looked it up online. Years later. The Solomon Kane, um, based on the works of Robert E. Howard. That's the creator of Solomon Kane, Conan the Barbarian, Called the Conqueror. So very nice. Guy committed suicide at 30, and he wrote all that. That's crazy. And big thing in it was this, the whole, I guess, Kickstarter box set of riffs. I think everything is in here without going through it, but all of that was like 90 something dollar shipped. So it's a really, really good deal. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. I don't know. Probably shouldn't have because a lot of that stuff I already have. Oddly enough, really was getting the Solomon Kane book. The Solomon Kane book, they're like almost $40. The base book Solomon Kane. Of course, unfortunately on eBay, lots of people have got on there and they're just reselling and reselling and reselling and just grabbing everything. And it gets down with these large companies instead of like actual real people like myself when they're selling stuff where you used to be able to get good deals. Now every single copy is owned, and if there's a cheap copy on there, those people just buy it to resell it to clog the market up, which is a really scumbag thing to do. And I hate eBay resellers. Like, I fucking hate you. Unsubscribe to my channel. You're shit. I just ugh. They've completely ruined a wonderful hobby. What they do is they go to these garage sales, they'll go to these flea markets, they go to these thrift stores. And don't get me wrong, if you're just selling a little here or there, just one thing or two things, when you try to build a whole company and make a whole living off that, that's it's repugnant because what you're doing is denying so many people the wonder and enjoyment of going there and finding that cool toy on a shelf or that cool, oh wow, you actually found a D&D book in the wild. That's crazy. And I took my son out to these places all the time when he was a kid, the flea markets, thrift stores. In fact, I have all these old thrift store find videos. I got almost 100 of them up. You can go back and watch those. They're still wonderful. You can see my son, his little guy on there. And he had a great time with that, seeing getting new toys, and it would cost almost nothing to do that. You go out with like $50 and come home with like half a house full of stuff. The prices on everything used to be unbelievably cheap. And now you're paying like above retail often. So it's horrible. And often, for poor quality stuff. Some more old vampire stuff. Chicago by Night. And again, I've had, in fact, I think I owned almost every single I might have owned every single Vampire the Masquerade book revised back, like all of them. I've owned almost the entire line revised back of all of like Changeling, Demon the Fallen, Under the Requiem, um, War of the Apocalypse, Age of Ascension. I owned every single Wraith book. I know that. And I think I might have been missing like one book from Age of the Ascension, the entire line of everything. So I went to like the completionist route, which is a horrible thing. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Just buy the things you actually are going to find some type of use in. This is the guy who just showed you his 4 copies of a book he's never going to use. So you can take what I say with a grain of salt. Jabroni, Chicago Chronicles, Volume 2. Um, Guild Books, Spooks and Oracles. And these White Wolf books, I just bought a few new books for my son's game. God, they've gone through the freaking roof. I guess a lot of people really like Revised. I was hoping that people wouldn't play that. They play this, playing this 5th edition trash. I wouldn't want to buy these old books, but these books they're almost all over cover price. Like if you find one under cover price, it's either from a book that just is trash that nobody wants and was manufactured in heavy quantities, or just you just got really lucky. And if you got really lucky, you need it, snap it up because it's harder and harder progressively to find this stuff on eBay. Maybe there's other places to buy stuff. I know, like Facebook and stuff, you can find places. Sometimes a lot of that's really dodgy though, and like now you just got nothing. If somebody got your money. Cairo by Night, you got this one. I don't know. Again, it was half off. It's almost in brand new shape, and it was 1995, so it'd have been like $10 plus tax. But it was, I mean, it's a book that we're probably literally never gonna do any more than barely open. So honestly, for us, it's probably a complete waste. But it was there, and again, the prices are so high now that it's like, well, you almost kind of have to. Same thing with this one, Berlin by Night, $15. So this was 750 plus tax. It's in good shape, considering this is old. Um, Archon and Templars. This is the same deal. This would have been 1995, so half of that, like $10. Bought this one online. This one actually just came recently. I think I paid like $15 ship for this or something like that. Midnight Express. That's $12 cover price. It's not Jim Cornette's Midnight Express. Ain't no Stanley. Ain't no Bobby Eaton. Ain't no lover boy Dennis Cadre. But we got that one. I do have some interesting rates. Be interested to play that. And we got mediums, Speakers of the Dead. I think this was just under $20 shipped. So $15 in retail. So those are the books that we picked up. Just figured I'd show you guys that. So thanks a lot, barbarians. Appreciate you, baby.